Okay, we're good. Go ahead.
All right. So I've asked a couple people to speak tonight, mainly focusing on the importance of live events. So we're coming off of Super Saturday. We are starting to really talk about Summit a lot. And we were starting to kind of look at how many people attended Super Saturday and what people got out of it and the feedback we got from it. And we realized a lot of people didn't make it. And so, sometimes that's because there's not one near you, things like that. But we wanted to kind of speak on the significance of these events, why corporate puts them on. You guys could mute yourself. And the impact that they can make. So I've got two people that I've asked to speak tonight. The first is Michelle, and I've asked her to talk a little bit about Summit. So Michelle went to Summit for the first time this year, and I asked her to talk about like the impact that it made on her business-wise, but I think even more importantly, these live events make a really big impact on us heart-wise, like internally on our own journeys, not necessarily just on our business. So I'm going to give her the floor.
Okay. Thanks, Lindsay. Lindsay's absolutely right. It really does make a big difference when you go to these live events. And for those of you who maybe are new or don't know what Summit is, it's Beachbody's convention. Basically, they hold it every year. They share the latest details on the products, upcoming releases. You get to do live workouts with super trainers. And if you're lucky enough, like everybody on our team, but pretty much me last year, get to meet all the trainers and smell them too. Just an FYI, Joel Freeman smells really good just all the time, just letting you know. And he's mine, just throwing that out there. But beyond those things, and if you were friends on Facebook with anybody who went to Summit, you saw lots of fun videos and fun times and crazy things that are happening and workouts in the courtyards, and all those things were amazing. And a lot of it was because we got to meet each other for the first time and be part. We're a tribe on Facebook, we're a tribe in Messenger, we're a tribe on text, but when you're together and you meet everybody in person and you get to talk to them and see that everybody is truly genuine and how they are on our group, that's a pretty amazing thing. And I'll tell you, like Lindsay said, it was my first one last year. I missed the one before because truly I had a lot of fear and anxiety about it. I didn't think that I was good enough to be there. I didn't feel like my title or my rank was right. I didn't feel like I was fit enough to be doing the workouts. I thought I was going to be judged. And I can tell you guys from my experience that it is nothing like that. Everybody that you will meet on our team and outside of our team, the 20,000 coaches that were there, I did not have one person even remotely feel like I was being judged, or I didn't feel like I was being judged by anybody. Everybody was willing to help. You learned a lot from all the leaders that are there. And that was pretty amazing. You know, I would sit on a bus with a complete stranger and going between events and didn't know who they were, but I learned so much from them, hearing their stories, hearing what works for them. Everybody's willing to share information. And those are things that when you're there, we will tell you updates. We will tell you what's coming up. You'll see some videos of that Beachbody will put out. But those are the things you don't get. You don't get those personal interactions. You don't get those feelings of sitting in an auditorium with 20,000 people, getting chills on your arms when you're hearing the stories of the winners of the $100,000 awards, or seeing and hearing the stories of the leaders on stage about how they really are to us. And that was pretty amazing to me. For my business, I'm not going to romanticize it and tell you guys that I came back and, signed 15 coaches or quadrupled my income or anything like that. But I will tell you that what it gave me was confidence. It gave me the sense that I could travel by myself, for one. I've never done a girls' trip. I've never really done any of that kind of stuff. And so to meet all these new people at one time was like, blew my mind away. And I get a lot of anxiety towards that. It's probably where my son gets it. But Anyway, I did it. And I came back feeling more confident for myself, more confident in my business, more confident in the fact that even when people tell me no, I know that this is what I want to do because I feel more connected to the mission of this company. I don't think I would have felt that way had I not gone to Summit. I've been to Super Saturdays, and all I can say is Summit is like Super Saturday on crack. I mean, it's really that much bigger energy-wise. And it really was impactful for me in that aspect. I learned so much, and I'm really hoping I can get there again this year. I know I'm just going to say this, and hopefully I'm answering what you wanted me to answer, Lindsay. But, you know, I know we all have financial things, and I know we all have scheduling conflicts and kids that we need to worry about making sure they're taken care of. I get that. Those are real things, and nobody on this team will, you know, make you feel bad if that's the reason why you're not going. But if you're anything like me who maybe is hesitant to go because of those fears or those things that I talked about before, I just want you to know that try to get past it, try to do it. Don't let those be your reasons for not going to Summit, because you will come back a changed person. I know I did, and it's just been an incredible experience, and I really am looking forward to doing that, and this time meeting all those dang trainers, because I'm not letting them pass me by this time. But anyway, I really hope to see you guys there. I know I've talked to quite a few of you guys in messages and in comments, and all I really want to do is give you all a big hug in person. So hopefully I'll get a chance to do that in June with you all. So if you have any questions about it, just let me know, or anybody else on the team, and we'll do our best to answer it. But it's really a lot of fun.
I do want to add, we have a group specific to people going to Summit. If you are considering going, and Summit tickets are on sale right now, so this is really one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about that, and they're not going to be on sale forever. But if you are interested in going, we want to get you in that group. So let your upline know, let somebody that you work with know, your SP, whoever, that you're interested, so we can get you in the group, and so that we can make sure that you're getting there. I completely agree with Michelle. It's amazing. Go ahead, Erica. Sorry.
I just wanted to add, because we talked about goal setting last year, that maybe if it's on your heart to go and you're just like not really sure how to make it happen financially, put it on your goal list that you're going to work for in the first quarter, because you have time. I mean, we have 2 quarters to earn it. All you need in the first quarter is the price of the ticket, and then you can work from there. You can do a road trip. I mean, I've seen people drive 18 hours to get there because they didn't have money for a plane ticket, and they carpooled and they made it work. They split the cost of gas and all of that stuff. We also, where were we when we had 5 people in one room? Like 2 people per bed, and then Marcia was on the floor, and we had to hide her air mattress every single night. She was not supposed to be in there, but like we made it work, and we were able to split the cost of all of that. So where there is a will, there is a way. And if you really, really want to be there and it's important to you, figure it out, because you can definitely do it.
Can I just add one thing to that? She's absolutely right with the financials, and it's like kind of like when you're buying your challenge pack, and sometimes you have to go and find things to sell. You know, we're kind of doing that right now. We're putting a lot of our extra money to things for our kids in their sports camps right now, so things are a little bit tight. But we just spent the last week putting things up on Facebook garage sales or Garage Post or whatever that site is, and we just sold a bunch of kids things that we're not using anymore, and I'm planning on using part of that money to go to Summit this year. I don't know if I'll hit my goal, but it's just like thinking like you were just buying your challenge packs again, and sometimes that's really all you got to do is put a little bit away. So hopefully that helps.
It's a really good point. Christy did attend Super Saturday, and she actually had a fantastic speaker. So I want to give you guys a minute to either get out your phone or get out a notepad, because she's going to share something with us that you're going to want to take notes on, and I'm just going to give it to her.
Actually, I ended up typing it out because, you know, me, type A.
Of course you did.
So Super Saturday is our live events that Beachbody hosts quarterly, and it's such an awesome opportunity for you to get to know coaches in your area. Like, we have a ton of coaches in our Leander Cedar Park area, and some of them I know, some of them I don't know, but it's a really fun opportunity to kind of get to know the coaches around you, and then you also get to learn about all the new happenings that corporate is doing, and you can learn about that in your coach office, but it's a lot more fun when you are doing it with a bunch of other people. And then they always have samples for us to try. Our personal Super Saturday, we have headshots that you could buy and get taken. There's a live workout. And then you have different speakers. Sometimes corporate will come, different people from corporate, or just speakers who are awesome coaches, just people that you can, lean in and learn from. And it's a super fun opportunity for you to spend some time with other coaches and kind of learn from the best of the best. So last Saturday we had our Diamond region mentor come in, and she talked. And then we had a 5-star Diamond come and talk, and she's elite. And one thing that was really interesting about her is that she built her entire business on cold market. She didn't build from her spouse's account, her parents' account, her brother or sister's account. She built everything from cold market. So she had some really awesome tips to share on how to be a rock star on Facebook without being an a-hole, is what she said. And so I wanted to share those top 10 tips with you guys, because I thought that they're simple, but they're also a gut check that, oh yeah, I really need to be doing this. And there are a lot of things that I don't do, and I'm like, oh crap, I really need to do that, or I need to get better. And so she has 10 tips for you to be a rock star on Facebook without being an a-hole. So I'm going to share my screen, and let's see, there you go. Okay, so can y'all see the top 10 tips? Yes? Okay. All right, so these are the top 10 tips for rocking Facebook. Number 1, she just wanted to tell everybody, don't get discouraged when you're first starting out. I know that there are some really awesome coaches out there, and you follow them and you're like, man, how the hell does, Ashley Molstad get 90 SC points in 1 week? But she also has a huge following, and people are coming to her in droves. But don't get discouraged when you're first starting out, because that's not going to happen. It's going to take time to build your following. Number 2, choose the social media platform and stick with it. Pick Facebook, pick Instagram, or Twitter, or Pinterest, or Snapchat, or whatever. Just pick one and become a master at that. I do Instagram and Facebook, and I'm not a master at either. So just don't try and spread yourself too thin. Just pick one and master that one. Number 3 is choose content that's relatable to you and your market. Don't just throw stuff up there that you think other people want to know. Just do it, speak from your heart, be you. And the people who are supposed to be attracted to you will be attracted to you. Number 4, I'm really bad at. Stick to the 80-20 ratio when it comes to personal posts versus call to actions. People are on social media to get to know you. And so they join your challenge groups, or they join your team because they love you, not always because they love your products. So make sure that you're showing you and making sure that you are being you and not just business. No salesy, no stock photos. People want to see your kids. I always get the most interaction when I post pictures of Bruce. Number 5, when doing a call to action, always add message me or comment below. That way, even if no one comments, you can still hashtag fake it till you make it. I think that's what it says. Fake it till you make it. And anyway, and so what that just means is that no one's going to know if people message you or not. So if you have that call to action at the bottom and you say message me or comment below, you can pretend, even if you don't, because maybe your following is not huge, but you can say, oh, I've been talking to some people, or, oh, 3 spots have been filled. I have 7 spots left. And so that just kind of is creating urgency and scarcity. And so that way people may begin to start messaging you more. So you can fake it till you make it. Number 6, people like to answer questions. So you have to ask them questions, but don't make it weird. What she said was, don't ask people, do you like smooth peanut butter or crunchy peanut butter? Because you can't really message them and start a conversation with that. So make sure that it's just kind of like when Frank got into a car accident and we needed to get a new car seat. I polled people and asked them, what's your favorite car seat to get? And I got a ton of interaction on that. So really ask questions that you really care to know the answer to. I don't care if you eat crunchy or smooth peanut butter. So just make sure that if you're asking questions, make them questions that you really care to know the answers to. And then that way you can go and message them. And it's kind of a nice segue to have like a real person conversation with them. Number 7, try not to get too political unless that's part of your avatar. I'm not a political person, so I make sure not to use that on my social media. Number 8, quality over quantity. I know a lot of people say, post 3 to 5 times a day. That's just not possible for me. It's possible, but it wouldn't be good quality posts. So even if you can only post once or twice a day, make sure that it's real good quality content and not just throwing up a picture and, with a small little caption. Make sure that it's real quality content that people are interested in reading about. Number 9, always make sure to respond back to people, reply to comments, hit the love button. She said that Facebook is changing their algorithms and they're really not really paying as much attention to the thumbs up. So make sure you use the other, like the heart and the mad face or the sad face or the wow face. Use those emotions instead of the like button. And always reply to people's comments in your thread because that just shows that they're important to you and that their responses are, their responses matter. And then finally, number 10, don't chase trends, just be you. I know that some of you guys don't follow me on Facebook, but last week I had kind of a gut check about being me, and a lot of the times I don't really know who I am, and I'm still kind of trying to figure that out. And so I said that. I posted that, and I got a lot of interaction about that because it hit home with a lot of people, just that real and raw, completely honest. And so that's what people want to know. They want to know the real you, not who you think they want to know. And if they don't like you for who you are, then they're not your people. And then finally, use the stories. I love stories because that way I don't have to think too much about creating, these wonderful, drawn out posts. I can just post a picture of something that's really going on in my life, unfiltered, no makeup, my crazy kid running around in just a diaper. And then, people can react and you can see who's watching you and you can send them a message and say, thanks for, watching my stories. How are you? And you can start the conversation from there. Anyways, those were her top 10 tips for rocking Facebook and not being an a-hole.
Can you unshare your screen, Chris?
Yeah, I'm trying. Hold on.
Okay, sorry. I struggled with this the other night too.
Stop share. Hold on. There you go. Sorry. I was like, I don't know what to press.
No, that's all right. So I'm going to actually do the same thing. So the cool thing about Super Saturdays is corporate sends videos so that most of us get the same information from them, but then each Super Saturday event adds their own touch to it. So Christy had that really great speaker. We had a really great speaker, Megan Eggleston. Some of you probably follow her. She was part of the 80-Day Obsession test group, and she really talked a lot about that. And she also talked about fear setting. And I love that Erica mentioned, like, if if you want to make it to Summit, make that one of your goals for the first quarter, because Michelle had just talked about how there's a lot of fears with traveling and maybe going by yourself or doing something like that for the first time when you don't really know anybody. And so I think this fear setting thing that I'm going to share with you right now that I learned from Megan at my Super Saturday might help you to kind of plot out how to make these goals happen. So I'm going to share my screen too, because if you go into the album in the team page titled Goal Setting, I created a couple more things in there and put them in there today. One of which is a worksheet called Your Ideal. And essentially what you do is you list qualities that you would like to have in your ideal coach on your team or your ideal challenger in your challenge groups. And so that way you're kind of like speaking into existence what you're looking for. So that way when you're writing your posts and when you're reaching out to people, you're not just, trying to grab people and get them in just to say I've got people in, but you're really looking for those people who have those qualities that you desire in a coach or in a challenger, and you're adding them to the team or adding them to your challenge groups. And then the other thing that I added in there today is the fear setting worksheet that I'm going to just kind of walk you through real quick. It won't take long at all, so that you understand how it works and what she meant when she did it. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So in the team page, when you click on goal setting, there are 3 links. One says goal setting, I don't know if I named it the map or whatever. And then the other one is Your Ideal, and then one is labeled fear setting. And they have links to the document in Google Drive. So what this is a little chart for you. So for every single goal that you've set for yourself, there's probably going to be fears attached to that goal. And there may even be more than one fear attached to that goal. So let's, for example, say that one of your goals is to go to Summit, but you have a fear of traveling by yourself. So maybe your fear is that, I don't know, you get stuck at an airport in the middle of nowhere. So I get lost or stuck while traveling by myself. Her next column that she had people do was prevent. So what do you have in your control of this, and how could you prevent this worst case scenario from happening? So in every situation, we don't have control over everything, but we do have control over some things. And that's really important for us to focus on, is what we do have control over. Because I think the majority of us have anxiety around things that we really don't have a lot of control over. And if we could kind of release those things and focus on the things that we do have control over, it might ease some of that anxiousness or nervousness when it comes to doing new things and trying new things. So we have control over what time we get to the airport, get to the airport early. Find a travel buddy. I don't know, print tickets early, have a travel folder. Like, there's things you can do to kind of prevent yourself from getting stuck. So then there's also this repair column. And by the way, I did not give you guys permission to edit this. I gave you permission to print it so that you could just write these out yourself. That way we're not having to see other people's fears if somebody fills it out the wrong way. But in this repair column, it says, say the worst case scenario does happen. So say you do get stuck. Maybe, there's icy weather in Chicago and you're stuck in Chicago for the night. How are you going to fix it? Maybe you should have backup money for a hotel in the event that you need one. Maybe, contact friends who might live in the area in which you're traveling. So I know this seems really basic, and for some of us who don't have anxiety, this seems like really not necessary at all. But for those of us who do need to really think things out, or who do really struggle to make a commitment and stick to it, I'm one of those people. Things always sound really good in the planning stages, and when it comes time to actually do it, I start to freak out a little bit about actually following through. This might really help you. And I think for any of the things, so it doesn't necessarily have to be like traveling is fearful for you. Maybe you've put an income goal on there that's scary for you. Maybe you've put, I know that when I was talking a lot about wanting to stay home, staying home actually was really scary to me. It was what I really wanted, but it was also super scary because I'd never done it before. And so it would have been really nice to have this tool then to kind of map out why I was so fearful and scared. So that is in the team page. I'm going to delete these things in case you guys are in there. You don't want to have to look at them because you're going to want to be able to print a blank one and do it yourself. So I'm going to stop sharing. And before I say, I kind of wrap things up and we do our shout outs or anything, I did want to share a couple more things that Megan talked about 80-day obsession. And I also wanted to just mention a couple things about the upcoming Glance webinar. So she really said that, like 80-day obsession, she said she had so much fear around it because it was so refreshing to hear her speak, because to me, she's like way up here with the Lindsay Matways and the Rainas and all these people who are just phenomenal coaches. And she actually is a huge introvert, which I am too. So I really related to her while she was talking. And she said, like, even just getting up and speaking is really difficult for her. And that committing to a program like this gave her extreme anxiety. And so that's kind of what I popped in last week when I was doing the tough love, saying, like, we're all scared, but stop letting it be a crutch. Stop letting it be an excuse, because we're all scared. Like even that 3-time elite coach was scared when she was asked to be in the test group. And it's just a natural part of this. And so that's why I came in and said, let the fear go, own it, embrace it, and don't let it be a distraction to you. So she said that she really wanted to focus on her fears. She had to identify what was holding her back. She said one of her fears was time, and she quickly realized that time is an excuse. Time, there's usually a fear that's wrapped up in there, and someone's like putting the time label on that fear instead of actually addressing the fear itself. She also said to take control of what you can control, which is kind of what she talked about in her fear setting thing. She said 100% go all in with the program and the nutrition. Do both. She said you don't necessarily have to be perfect. Your plan may not look like somebody else's plan, but you need to commit to doing the program, showing up, pushing play, and commit to doing the nutrition program in addition to it. Don't be one of those people, like Erica had made a post about this earlier this week, about how you can be the person who pushes play and does the workout and doesn't do the nutrition piece, but you're not going to get the results that you're looking for if you do that. And that's huge. That's a message that we've all needed to learn, and it's a message that we need to really kind of emanate for the people who follow us, because a lot of people think that they can outrun a bad diet, or they can out-sit up, drinking beer all weekend and things like that. And you can't. So that's something really important. She said that this program for her was so much more than a physical change. She said she got abs that she had never had before. She lost cellulite that she had always had and always thought she would have. But even more so, she became a different person from the inside out. She gained a lot of confidence. And she realized that all the people around her in her life, in all aspects of her life, noticed that she had stopped giving up on herself. Even though she's this elite coach who we all think is like perfect, she said she had gotten into this pattern of consistently giving up on herself. And she would, do something so far and then give up a piece of it, or do something so far and then just throw in the towel altogether. And this was one thing that she really went all in on both pieces. And she said that her children actually and her husband were phenomenal support systems for her, that she would like go out to dinner with them, and while they all ate, she would have her meal that she had already packaged up or whatever, that she, like, everyone else would be having wine at whatever celebration they were at, and she wouldn't have it, and things like that. And she said the night that they were done, her husband planned a nice dinner for her and the kids. They went out to a restaurant to celebrate her being done. And it was like she got to eat whatever she wanted. And the kids were like, yay, mommy, have this. And she was like, I'll probably pay for this later because it'll hurt my stomach or whatever. And she said they got home, they put the kids in bed, and she was just kind of sitting down in the living room reflecting on everything. And her 11-year-old son came out, and he was like, Mommy, I just want you to know that I love you, and I'm really proud of you for never giving up. And she started crying, and she was like, I didn't realize, like, I had noticed that I got abs, and I had noticed that I didn't have as much cellulite. But what my son noticed was that even when everybody else was doing the things that they wanted to do, Mommy did the things that she said she was going to do at the beginning. Even though she wanted to do the things that everyone else was doing, she stayed true to her commitment. And she said that was probably the best piece of all this. And I think that that particular part of her speech spoke to me the most, because it doesn't matter that we're not in the official test group before the program, is released or whatever. What matters is that we're making a commitment to ourselves. We're making a commitment to do this together. We don't have to go it alone, which I think is one of Autumn's really big messages in this program, just based on what she says in ALO all the time. I love that she's kind of preaching this community feel, like we're doing this together, and that we're going to see all these changes, but what we're going to feel at the end of the 80 days is going to be even beyond all that. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm really excited for everybody doing it. I know some of you are not, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad or just make this all about ADDO, but I just think that that's really important to understand that everyone has been scared, not just everyone on this team, everyone, and that we're just going to do it together. Are there any questions I need to address in the chat before I share a little bit? No? Okay. So our webinar is the 17th. It's a different format than what we've ever done before. That is one of the reasons why Erica and I decided we needed to up our subscription to Zoom and make it so that we kind of have unlimited time. That in addition to the fact that a lot of these workouts are 60 minutes and all of us really thrive off of our morning workouts together. So we wanted to make sure we could do that. So the webinar is the 17th. Mindy just sent me a really great graphic that I'm going to kind of use as inspiration to create a graphic with the people who are speaking on our call Wednesday. But I really want you guys, this particular call, the focus of the message is really about easing people's fears, easing people's fears and concerns and questions about what coaching is. I'm going to share a little bit of the basics of what we do as coaches, but a lot of people are going to be sharing like how this community has impacted them, how it's impacted their family, how it's impacted their income, and what that has meant for them and their families in the long run. So I want you to be thinking of who you should be inviting. I'm super excited to be sharing it in this way. So there's going to be, I think there's 6 speakers. I think I counted correctly. It could be 5. I'll have to count again. But everyone's got a little tidbit to share, and I think this is really going to personalize it. And so Erica created a link today, and she sent it to me, and I'm gonna make a post in the team page sharing all this. But essentially what you need to do is at least the night before, whoever has said yes to coming to the webinar, you need to make sure you send them the link so that they have time to go in and make sure that they can access Zoom from their computer, their phone, whatever it is they're going to be logging in from. You want to make sure that you do it ahead of time. Do not send it to them 30 minutes before the call. Number one, that's just too late. But number two, they might need a few minutes to set it up. And if you do that, if you sent it at 7:30 and they're in the middle of bedtime, they're not going to have time to do that. So I really want you to make sure that you're preparing them and that you're prepared. So that's why we made the link super early. The call starts at 8 o'clock Wednesday, Eastern Standard Time. We're hoping it'll be over by 9. We'll have time for like a Q&A at the end. And we'll see how this format goes. We'll see how people like it. We'll see how we like it. And if we do, we can revamp and try it again next month. We can do these more often. I do plan on recording it so that if you have someone who commits to coming and then at the last minute they can't, instead of just throwing them in a group and saying, look at the posts, you can actually take the recording and send it to them. You could even say to them, 5 minutes in, my friend Mindy talks about how this really has impacted her and how it's benefited her to have this support system of moms and women. And I think that would really speak to you. Maybe just zoom over 5 minutes and listen to what she has to say. Like, you can really personalize your message to people when you send it to them, because 60 minutes might be long for some people to listen. The last thing I wanted to say is the 80-Day Obsession Challenge Group planning sheet is looking really good. I did go in there today and I highlighted all of the dates in yellow that need to still be filled. So if you are someone who has not committed to at least one day of showing up and support and, contributing your 3 posts, if you would be willing to go in there and do that, that would really help us out. If you have already been in there and you're doing 1 or 2 and you want to go in and see if you can add more, that would be amazing, because most of the dates, I think everything in January is filled. There's a couple in February, but mostly March and April is where we need people. And again, just a friendly reminder to anybody who is already signed up for the month of January, hopefully your posts are already scheduled on Facebook. Mine are all scheduled, ready to go for tomorrow, because I'm leading off on day 1. So make sure that you've got it all set. And there's a couple people who put their name down in there, but didn't put their topic down. If you could make sure that you go back and put your topic so that we don't have repeat topics, that would be really great. And for anyone who hasn't had time to watch the call that Kelly and I did on that, please click the link for the 80-Day Obsession Challenge Group stuff that Beachbody provided us, and use that as inspiration if you don't really know what you want to share, or you're the reason why you haven't signed up is because you don't know what you would say. Beachbody kind of laid it out for us already, and you can just take that and make it your own. So is there anything that I have left off? Anything people have questions about?
I'll pop in real quick, because we always say we're going to do our recognition at the beginning and then we forget.
I know. I just realized it. I was like, we'll do it at the end.
I do have this in front of me. I don't know if you guys know this. I've mentioned it before, but in your groups, if you're an admin, you can go in and see group insights to see who top contributors are, or what posts got the most engagement, things like that, which is super useful. So because 80-Day Obsession is so big for us right now, and it's such an important part of our business, I went in there to see what coaches are really making an effort, which I think all of you are, honestly. That group is amazing right now. But I did want to recognize just a couple of people that are showing up at the top, and it's for comments and posts. So not only are they posting themselves, but they're also engaging in other posts, which is really, really important. So Kelly, Linnea, Carla, Michelle, Candace, Christy, Carissa, Meredith, Allison, and Heather, our top 10, Heather McMurray. And I just really want to say that during these 80 days, I know Lindsay talked a lot about this, so I don't really want to beat a dead horse, but I think it's really important that if you're somebody who's a serial quitter and you've given up on yourself a million times in the past, that you look outside yourself for this program and for this group and think, even if you only have one person in there, even if you only have one challenger that you're supporting, or even if you have 0, but you have a friend that's a coach who's in there, which I hope that you do, because we're all friends on here, that you look outside yourself and you think, I'm not going to give up on them. So when you're struggling and you're feeling I can't do this, that you think, stop thinking so much about you and focus more on them. How can I help them stay accountable? How can I help them keep going? And if you do that, I think that's really, really going to help you to keep going rather than focus on your own struggles. So you can't, especially if you have challengers in there, you cannot give up on them, because if you stop showing up, so will they, and then they'll go back to their old habits, and they'll feel like this is just another thing that I couldn't do, and we don't want them to feel that way. So make it a point to show up every single day, even on day 79. It's super easy to show up now. It's not going to be easy to show up on day 79, because it's going to be old news by then, but we're in it for the long haul. So I think that's it for me. Lindsay, did you have any recognition?
Yes, so I want to shout out Jackie because she is on the call tonight and she has 2 itty bitty babes at home, and I think that's awesome that she is showing up and that she's staying connected with the team, because I know from personal experience this team can really be an amazing support for new mommies. So I'm so glad that you're here. And I wanted to shout out Christy because Christy is showing up for her workout tomorrow morning at 4 a.m., even though she has the day off from work. And I think that's a huge testament to what we do and who we are. And I also wanted to shout out Christy Rhodes and Caitlin Brown. I'm not sure if either of them are on the call, but each of them has gone looking for an SP and had not necessarily had one. And they found each other and they realized that they have some things in common, and like instant relationship. And I don't know if you guys have noticed the support that they give each other in the team page and on each other's posts, and just like in general is so refreshing. And it's exciting for me to see because I know that feeling. And I think that the love and support that they have for each other is going to propel them as individuals, but also as business partners. So I wanted to shout them out for making a point to find someone and making a point to really be 100% present and supportive of that person.
All right. I think we're good. Look at us using our small business plan, going over 40 minutes. Super official now. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. As always, I'll post it in the morning. I'm going to bed.